Okay, so I have decided to make a new video, and if this is the first video of mine that you've seen on YouTube, thank you very much for checking it out. Also, please feel free to take a look at previous videos of mine that I've uploaded where I talk about the Eurovision Song Contest. Today I'll be doing that again. Probably will be sharing this on my Facebook writing page too, and if you are watching on YouTube, there will be a link in the description to that page, as well as my blog and what have you, other bits and pieces too. So yes, today I'm going to be talking about the 2005 edition, having made a bunch of videos about this year's contest, and then the 2003 and 2004 contest, so it makes sense to do this mini-series in order. I have information in front of me just to make sure I don't forget anything, but I do know this stuff, of course. What I will say is the 2005 edition was the first edition of Eurovision that I really do remember paying quite a bit of attention to. With 2003, I remember watching it vaguely, but I was very young. Same with 2004. And even in 2005, I didn't really hear the songs before the show. I had no concept of a semi-final or political voting, if you want to call it that. I just watched the show on TV here in England, and because I was quite young, I was 12 when the 2005 contest took place. What I remember is having to go to bed just before the last song was performed, France, in the 2005 contest. So I did hear 23 entries, but then did not hear the French entry for a little while, a few days later I think, and I didn't know the winner until the following morning. So yes, I was a Eurovision novice back then, but I was much younger. I am 25 now. I was 12 in 2005. The contest was staged on the 19th and 21st of May. I believe the semi-final was on the... well, yes, it was on the Thursday rather than the Wednesday as it had been in 2004. It was held at the Palace of Sports, a place mainly used for sporting events. Relatively small, I think around about 10,000 people for the two shows. And it has staged Junior Eurovision as well. I think it might be the only venue that has staged both. But I might be wrong. Can't think off the top of my head. The hosts were Maria Efrosnina and Pavlo Shilko, who had read the results out for Ukraine, I think the year before. He also co-wrote, or solely wrote, the 2006 Ukrainian entry, and also provided commentary for Ukraine. So he's done a bit of everything. So yeah, how many entries were there? There were 39. Bulgaria and Moldova debuted. Hungary withdrew. No, Hungary returned. Nobody withdrew. It was the 50th edition, regularly touted as the 50th edition. And it was held in Ukraine because they won the previous year, their second ever entry, and it won. Ruslana with Wild Dances, and it was a very convincing win as well. Yes, the winner was Greece. More on that in a minute. Their first and only win to date. This is the CD. I have every CD from 2001 onwards. You can get 1999, but some songs are missing on it, so I don't have it. I don't have the 2000 CD either yet, but you can get these online, but I'm not sure exactly how cheap they are. I will say the 2005 edition, on the whole, maybe slightly better than 2004, but maybe not as good as 2003. But there we are, the 2005 CD. I'm going to talk about the countries that did not qualify from the semi-final first. So, song 1 was Austria. This was IAC, Like That, performed by Global Kreiner in Austrian, not Austrian, it was Austria. It was performed in English and Spanish. It finished 21st with 30 points. Quite a daring entry. There was yodeling. Yes, Romania 2017 was not the first time we'd heard yodeling on a Eurovision stage. It was... I don't really know how to describe this song. There was a trumpet and the yodeling and a slightly summery feel to it, but it was all not working really well. And if anything, I think it was lacking support. so it didn't qualify. Song 2 was Lithuania. This came last, 25th, with 17 points. Little by Little by Laura and the Lovers. Now, this song was it was composed by Bobby Ljunggren, the very successful Swedish composer. This is surely one of the weakest songs that he's ever composed. I don't think it's that bad a song. It's just very bland pop. It fell flat live, so not a qualifier. Song 3 was Portugal, 17th place, 51 points. Amar, Love, performed by 2B. That's the number 2 and the letter B. Portuguese and English. The problem here was that the lady's microphone kept failing, so she was barely audible, and that obviously meant that the performance was not as strong as it could have been. I don't think the song's that bad at all. I actually think it's a pretty good song. Not too sure about the outfit, and obviously the microphone failing was a bit of an issue, but I don't think it was strong enough to qualify anyway. Yes, 17th place, and yeah, Portugal would not be in the final again until 2008, so still some time to go. Song 6 was Monaco, who had returned the year before after 25 years of not competing. This was Tout de Moi, All of Me by Lisa Darley, 24th place, 22 points, 10 from Andorra, 2 from Moldova, 10 from France. It didn't come last, but it didn't do very well at all, and this was a sort of grand ballad. Nothing spectacular though. Song 8, Belarus, who had debuted the year before. This was Angelica Ragobash with Love Me Tonight, 13th place, 67 points. Bit of a disco vibe, not bad at all, quite catchy, although it was a bit hard to understand what she was singing because her accent was so strong. I believe that she was born in Belarus. It's hard to keep track because sometimes Belarus have Russian musicians and what have you. But yes, 13th place. Okay, nothing brilliant. Song 9, The Netherlands. Well, of course, the Netherlands wouldn't be in a final again for a long, long time. This was Glenys Grace with My Impossible Dream. Expected to qualify, but it didn't. 14th place, 53 points. Ballad, white dress. Good, but not stand out enough. Then we have Iceland, Song 10, Selma, who had come second in 1999, with If I Had Your Love, 16th place, 52 points. Didn't like the outfits, and I just feel the song was really, really forgettable. I didn't really like the staging either. And yes, this shouldn't have qualified. Then we have Belgium, Song 11, 22nd place, 29 points. Another grand ballad. Nothing original here. Le Grand Soir, The Big Night, by Nuno Rezende, who I believe was born in Portugal. Yeah. Just not very good. Not very good. I can't imagine Belgium ever sending a song like this again. Song 12 was Estonia, 20th place, 31 points. I think this is a bit underrated, but live, vocally, not very strong at all. This was a girl band called Sun Tribe with Let's Get Loud. Now, Sun Tribe includes Laura Pulvere, who, of course, sang with Koit Tume in Kiev last year, but didn't qualify. So yes, 20th place. Sorry, I'm rambling. But sort of teenage pop stuff, pretty catchy, but live wasn't really working very well. Song 16, because we're skipping the ones that did qualify. Song 16 was Finland, who wouldn't be in the final again until the following year when they won. And this was 18th place, 50 points for Geir Running and Why. If I recall, he was wearing like a white, he was quite smartly dressed, white and light blue, the colour scheme, white jacket, ballad, but really not stand out at all. Quite a boring performance. Song 18 was Andorra, Very difficult for such a small country to get votes. This didn't qualify. 23rd place, 27 points. La Mirada Interior, the inner glance, performed in Catalan by Marianne van der Waal, who had Annabel Conde as a backing singer. Annabel, who came second for Spain in 1995. The Andorran entry did receive 10 points from Spain, as you'd expect. Nothing from France, though. Interesting. But yeah, it didn't qualify. Then we have... Oh, I didn't like the outfits again, by the way. Song 21 was Bulgaria, the debut entry. A bit of a jazzy song. This was performed by a band called Cafe, and the song was called Lorraine. Very simply staged. Quite nice, quite relaxing to listen to, but no impact whatsoever. 19th place, 49 points. 3 more to go. Song 22 was Ireland. Fallen Giants, you could say. Love, the name of the song, by Donna and Joe, who I believe, yes, they're brother and sister. 14th place, 53 points. Little bit of Riverdance, just a hint of it in the performance. I just thought it was a really, really bad song, actually. It's really not a very good song at all. Certainly not one of Ireland's best. Just really, really forgettable. And I don't like the chorus very much either. But they sent a much better song the following year. Song 23, Slovenia. This was Omar Naber, who once again returned to Kiev to compete last year and didn't qualify. This was Stop, arguably the better song that he's been in Eurovision with. He has tried numerous times to represent Slovenia in between 2005 and last year as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries again in the near future. 12th place, 69 points, a slow burner, and then there's a lot of power in it towards the end. Vocally good. There was a woman on stage as well. Yeah, built up well, and I think it was well performed, and it was unlucky not to qualify. And then we have Song 25, a rather crazy number, by Poland, 11th place, so it just missed out, 81 points. Ivan and Delfin, and I am going to really mess up the pronunciation here, Sarna Ziewiczna, which I think means black-haired girl. It was just a really frantic performance, lots of la-la-las, and I've never really liked it that much, so I am still surprised to this day. It came very close, to qualifying. But there we go. Those are the songs that did miss out. Now it's time to talk about the 24 that were in the grand final. And I am very much aware that I am rambling here, but please stick with me. And let me know your thoughts in the comments, of course, as well. Song 1 was Hungary, returning after several years away. This was Nox, a band, a very successful Hungarian band, with Forok Világ, which means spin world, performed in Hungarian. Bit of a dark horse to win, but it never came close. 12th place, 97 points. Really good. A grower. This is a song that I didn't really like much at first, but years later, I can now appreciate. Really, really good song. There was a bit of dancing. Beautiful lead singer. Good vocals, can't complain. Song 2, The United Kingdom. We sent Javine, who had very nearly become a member of a very, very successful girl band called Girls Aloud, but she didn't. She missed out by a small margin, I believe, and this song was called Touch My Fire. Just a whiff of the East about it. I think those were Terry Wogan's comments as well. 22nd place, 18th... Oh dear, 22nd place, 18 points. Yeah. There was a bit of a sexy feel to it, and I think one of the dancers messed up the choreography at one point. Fire, lots of fire, obviously fitting in with the title of the song, but yeah, not one of the UK's best, and it finished in the bottom 4, as did the Big 4, all of them at the bottom. Song 3, Malta. This came second with 192 points. Chiara, who had come third in 1998, and this was Angel, all alone on stage. She was wearing a pinkish sort of dress, I guess, and it was really nice. Great voice, powerful vocals, definitely, and it deserved to do well. It really did. Then we have Romania, Song 4. This came third Romania's best result at the time, and still their joint best result. 158 points, third place, yes, for Let Me Try by Luminița Angel, who has tried to represent Romania since, and System with Let Me Try. There were lots of yellow sort of drums on stage, and they were sort of creating sparks on them at one point. Brilliant vocals, very powerful, and not a bad song, but maybe a bit too shouty. I don't know. Song 5, Norway. My favourite from 2005, I've got to be honest. It's glam rock. Wigwam, the name of the band. I think they'd tried to represent Norway the year before. This was In My Dreams. 9th place, 125 points. It was just, you know, what people, I suppose, expect from Eurovision. Something that's a little bit out there, a little bit crazy. He was waving the microphone stand around. It had this orange flag on it. Good vocals, bit repetitive, but I've always liked the song. And so do a lot of other people. Song 6, Turkey. This did so much better than I think it should have done. 13th place, 92 points. Rimi Rimi Ley by Gülseren. I mean, it's not terrible. It really isn't, but not that good. Quite traditional, I guess, from Turkey. Not one of their best. Song 7, Moldova, debut entry. This was even crazier. Stop Shi Stop. A sort of punk, folk, rock band. Very successful. They also represented Moldova in 2011. This was Bunica Bate Doba. Grandmama beats the drum. There was a grandmother on stage, banging a drum. There was a sort of floppy-haired drummer. Bloke playing the ocarina, I think it was. I really like this, I really do. It's one of Moldova's most successful entries. 6th place, 148 points. It was too crazy to win, but it was so vibrant and so different and fun. And I think 6th place was deserved. Maybe it hasn't aged too well. Anyway, Song 8, Albania, their second ever entry. This was Ledina Cello with Tomorrow I Go, 16th place, 53 points. Fake violinists on stage, not a good move, it looked terrible. Good voice, but not a good song. Song 9, Cyprus, same thing here, although the vocals maybe not quite as impressive. Konstantinos Christoforou, back for a third time, I think, after being part of the band 1 in 2002 and as a soloist in 1996. This song was called Ayla Ayla Come Baby. And there was this whole thing with mirrors on stage, and Konstantinos had a sort of white stick, some sort of cane thing. I think it was a white cane sort of thing. Not a very good song. Did receive 12 points from Greece, of course. This finished 18th with 46 points. Then we have Spain, and after several years of actually doing pretty well, this was a letdown. Fun, but too jokey to do any good. Brujeria, Witchcraft by Son de Sol. 3 women in colourful outfits and a gravelly voiced man who joined in for part of the song. 21st place, 28 points. Colourful, enjoyable, fun while it lasted, but never going to do that well. Song 11, Israel. I think this should have pushed a bit harder for the win, and it was on course to win at one point in the voting. This was Shiri Maimon, Beautiful Woman, and it's a ballad called Hashiket Shenishar, or if you prefer the English version, it's called The Silence That Remains. This finished 4th with 154 points. Great Israeli entry. Obviously they hadn't been in the final the year before, hadn't done well in 2003 or 2002 or 2001 or 2000, so this was their best entry for quite some time. And yeah, ballad, great voice, nothing too fancy about it, really good. Serbia and Montenegro, Song 12. They had finished 2nd the year before, and this would be their last ever entry as Serbia and Montenegro, because the two of them split up not long afterwards. This was No Name, the name of the band, group of guys. Zauvijek Moja performed in Montenegrin, 7th place. It sort of surged in the voting quite late on. 137 points. It translates as Forever Mine. Ominous drums, quite a dark, mysterious song, very powerful, a bit of a chant as well, actually, I would say. Pretty good, pretty good. 7th place, not surprising. Denmark, song 13, brilliant, brilliant, cool, simple, charming, great stuff. Jakob Sveistrup, who I believe at the time was not a professional musician but taught autistic children. Great voice. The song was called Talking to You. 9th place, 125 points. Probably should have finished a bit higher. It was doing fairly well in the voting. And yeah, I'd like to know if he's released any music recently, because he was a really good singer. There was this sort of nice little simple dance move on stage. It was just really, really good. Very charming. Super song. And 9th place, very well deserved. Song 14 was Sweden. Not one of Sweden's best, it has to be said. Martin Stenmark with Las Vegas. 19th place, 30 points. I think he was wearing a leather jacket. He had a couple of women with him on stage. And yeah, this pop song, I guess, but not a very good one. Not one of Sweden's best, definitely. I'm surprised it won Melfest. But there we are. Yes, 19th place, 30 points. Then we have Macedonia. I've never liked this entry. Martin Vucic, Make My Day. 17th place, 52 points. I just find this song a bit irritating. Not a big fan of the melody or his voice. I thought the performance was very average. He had a couple of backing dancers in really unattractive dresses. One of them did the splits at the end. Oh yeah, and again, lots of drumming. Lots of drumming. I'm not really a fan of the Macedonian entry from 2005 at all, and it finished in mid-table. Then we have Ukraine, the host nation, Green Jolly with Razom Nas Bahato, 19th place, 30 points, the unofficial anthem of the Ukrainian Orange Revolution. It translates as Together We Are Many. It's a chant, and there's not much else to say about it. The crowd loved it, but then again, Ukraine singing in Ukraine, not really a surprise, but really not one of the best Ukrainian entries. Maybe even the worst Ukrainian entry, because they usually do pretty well. This sort of song was never going to do that good. Maybe it was a slight political statement, more than anything else. I don't know. Then we have Germany, who came last, 24th, 4 points, Run and Hide by Gracia. This was a bit controversial because I think the songwriter had been bulk buying her song. Not entirely sure, never really looked into it in any great depth, but Gracia was quite scantily clad. The song had a rock feel to it, but vocally, I think it was her voice that let the song down, because, well, if you just listen to the song live, you'll know what I mean. It just wasn't very good. Then we have Croatia, song 18. Again, quite powerful, quite ominous, mysterious. This was Boris Novkovic featuring Lado members with Vukovi, Umiru Sami, Wolves Die Alone. 11th place, 115 points. Pretty good. Pretty good. The guy playing the drums in the back, at one point he was clapping his feet together whilst doing a handstand. Not much to say about it, really. Nice song, and always going to get votes from Croatia's neighbours. We'll leave Greece, the winner, for a minute. Song 20 was Russia. A little bit underrated. A fairly contemporary at the time song, I would say. Nobody Hurt No One by Natalia Podolskaya, who I believe was born in Belarus. 15th place, 57 points. What I remember from this is that she was wearing a sort of black skirt and a shimmery silver top. Again, quite scantily clad. And there was a huge Russian flag. Somebody was waving a huge Russian flag in front of the camera during this performance. Quite difficult to understand what she was singing because of the accent, but actually not that bad a song. How long is this video? Quite long. I do apologise. Then we have Bosnia and Herzegovina, song 21. Bit of an ABBA tribute. Feminem, who represented Croatia in 2010 but didn't qualify. This song is called Call Me. A sort of tribute as well to the Eurovision Song Contest. 50 Candles on the Party Cakes, I think, was one such lyric. 14th place, 79 points. Just a lot of fun. Very catchy, old-fashioned, but catchy and enjoyable and vocally strong. Song 22, Switzerland. This is a superb Swiss entry, one of the very best the Swiss have ever sent, and would you believe it, it was an all-Estonian band, Vanilla Ninja, who had tried to represent Estonia before 2005. This was Cool Vibes. It finished 8th with 128 points. It came through the semi-final and was leading the voting for quite some time, but then completely slipped away, which is a real shame. The only... well, Norway was a rock song, but I suppose that was more glam rock. You know, this was more bog standard rock, I guess. Lena Kurma, the lead singer, I think was only 16 at the time. She was 15 when she was chosen to represent Switzerland. But she was 16 in time for the contest, and I think the other members of the band were in their teenage years as well. Really good song, really nice performance. And I think a lot of people still enjoy this entry. One of Switzerland's very best. And it 8th place, yes, well deserved. Song 23, Latvia, Voltage and Kaja, The War Is Not Over. Two guys, acoustic ballad, a little bit of sign language stuff going on as well, which was nice to see. 5th place, 153 points. This was also doing very well in the voting before fading away. Charming, simple, maybe too simple, perhaps. Bear in mind that this only just qualified. 4 points ahead of Poland in the semi-final. So it qualified in 10th place and finished 5th in the grand final. Very impressive. Good song, but one guy's voice overshadowed the other, definitely. Song 24 was France. Ortal, chacun pense à soi, everyone thinks of themselves, I think is what it translates as. Yes, one of the weakest French entries of this century, no question. Very average performance, very average song. 23rd place, 11 points. Ortal, real name Marie Malka, was born in Israel and doesn't really seem to have done much since. Yeah. Not much else to say. I think by this, I remember as well, because there was a wide shot of the stage, and there was this one guy waving a French flag, and everybody else was sitting down. So I think France really didn't have much support at all. But there we are. That is the lineup of the 2005 final, and of course the winner was Greece, their only win to date. They finished 3rd the year before. They'd finished in the top 10 again in 06, 07, 08, 09, 10 and 11. And this was Helena Paparizou, who had finished 3rd for Greece in 01 as part of Antique with Die For You. She was back. She grew up in Sweden, so big star over there. And this was, I would say, the clear favourite. My number one, how fitting. First place, 230 points. I wouldn't say this was a super convincing win, because for half the voting, Greece were nowhere. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, started rising up. And what's interesting is that the voting procedure, it was all the countries that didn't qualify for the final first, and then the finalists in order of how they performed. So Hungary, Ukraine, UK, Malta, so on. And it was when those countries started voting that Greece pulled ahead. Was it a worthy winner? Yes. Slick choreography. Helena looked great. Vocally good. Catchy. Likeable. Good pop song. And it was about time Greece won, because they had been competing for a long time. And I am surprised it's the only Greek victory, because they've had plenty of good songs in the contest. The past few years they haven't done too well. Maybe they should get Helena back if she wants to do it. But yes, that was the winning song. And a good song. Malta second, Romania third. Israel 4th, Latvia 5th. The bottom 5, the host nation, and the automatic qualifiers, Spain, UK, France, Germany. A dismal year for Western Europe in that sense. Underrated songs for me, Portugal a little bit, Estonia a little bit, maybe Slovenia a little bit, Russia a little bit, Denmark certainly I think is an underrated gem. And overrated, overrated entries, Turkey. I mean, 13th place is not really overrated, but even so. Turkey, maybe that's it. I wouldn't say there were too many shocks. Maybe at the time, Moldova finishing 6th was seen as a bit like, what the hell? But, you know, entries that are jokey, but very well performed, you know, they do well. Take a look at Israel this year. Bit of a jokey entry, but it was so well performed. Is it really a surprise it won? But anyway, that's it. Long video. I'm going to shut up now. But please leave your comments in the below, letting me know what you think about the 2005 edition. The right winner? The wrong winner? What do you think about the venue? The hosts, who were a bit too shouty for my liking? Were you there? I don't know. Are you Ukrainian? Do you remember it being staged in Kiev? Let me know. And that's it. The 2005 edition. Long video. I do apologise. And my next video will be the 2006 edition. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.